With the Don Luka Doncic in Louisiana, this was supposed to be a premier matchup between some young stars. But the Pelicans got the injury bug. No Zion Williamson, he's got a hip contusion. No Brandon Ingram, he's got concussion. And no Herbert Jones, dealing with some knee issues. But nevertheless, it's the Mavericks versus those feisty Pelicans. And they had some fight early. Jonas Valanciunas inside with the score, caps off a 10-0 run. Other end we go, it's Luka showing you some of that magic. And then the Don falling to the ground, still getting the dish off to Christian Wood inside for the finish. Jose Alvarado got the start for the Pelicans, making do of every minute he got. Luka had 14, 6, and 3 in the first quarter, getting to the money again in the second quarter. Doncic getting to his spot and showing you game, he's got a lot. Luka and the Mavs in a tight one with the Pelicans at the half in the third quarter. Spencer Dinwiddie, a little don't mind if I do, three-pointer. CJ McCollum, only 6 of 20 from the field, but definitely facilitated that Pelicans offense to perfection. Finding Trey Murphy, who finds the bottom of the net with the throwdown. Murphy had 10 third quarter points, 22 for the game. Christian Wood has been a nice addition to Dallas thus far, knocking down the long deuce. Back to the Trey Murphy show. Pelicans up by a deuce in the fourth. It's McCollum inside to Larry Nance. In the closing seconds, Dallas is down 3. Luka opts to go with the quick 2. Pelicans would make 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Last chance for Dallas, down by 2. It's the Don going to that patented three-pointer, fading to his left. This one is no good. That means the Mavericks lose to a very short-handed Pelicans team. Your final score, 113-111. Luka goes for 37 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, but it'll all go in vain as his Mavs lose by a deuce. Yeah, I just got to be honest with you guys. I'm not enjoying the greatness that is Luka Doncic as much as a lot of my peers are. I'm just not. I'm looking at some of these stats for Luka. 2 for 13 from the three-point line in that basketball game. You know, opting to go to that fadeaway 3 going left that he has trademarked. The problem is he doesn't make it a lot of time. He's good for like one of those a year in the clutch moments, right? But he's missing a lot of them. He's Luka. He's got to hit the ball in his hands often in close games for the Dallas Mavericks, and he's not making a lot of these clutch shots, even opting to take that shot when he had so much success attacking the rim in that basketball game. Very little success at the three-point line. I mean, he missed 11 three-pointers in that game. Other than that, he was pretty darn good from inside the arc. I saw him have a lot of success inside in the painted area. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There's been one guy in the past 10, 12 years that I cringed when he played, even though I knew he was great, and that was James Harden. We're about to get number 2. I'm about to add Luka Doncic to the I cringe list. The I cringe list is a player's great, but the way their style of play is a style that I just know will never be successful enough to get you to an NBA Finals and to a championship. Remember a few years ago, God rest his dead, Kobe Bryant said James Harden's style of play is not going to win him a championship. He's like, you just can't win at the most elite of levels playing that way. And has James Harden won a championship since then? No, he has not. And he's going backwards, I'd argue, in that pursuit of a championship. I won't say Luka Doncic and James Harden are one-to-one parallels. To me, James Harden, much better dribbler than Luka Doncic. That low dribble allowed him to get to the basket. He was a very productive free throw shooter at his apex, is the bearded one. Luka Doncic, to me, has a much better feel on the posted area than Harden does. I love Luka's feel for the game. He's been a professional basketball player for a very long time now, even though he's only been in the NBA about 4 years. I love Luka's feel for the game, especially in the painted area, not as much on the perimeter. So I won't say Luka and James are one-to-one comparisons, but there is some overlap. That from the standpoint of when I look at this guy play, I know he's a great talent. I know I can never be him on the court, but I still know that style of play is not the most conducive to helping your team win basketball games. What we're learning is the James Harden and Luka Doncic styles of play at best can get you past the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. That's what we're learning. They're so great as individual talent, they can literally win you pretty much 1 round by themselves, and all they need is somebody to tag along to get you past the second round, and they're going to get you to the conference finals. But they are not competitive in the conference finals with that style of play. Whatever team that beats them, which has been the Golden State Warriors for both of them, gentlemen, that's who's going to get past. You're not beating the Golden State Warriors with the James Harden, Luka Doncic style of play. That's what we've learned. That's what we've learned over the last 7-8 years. Luka and James are great individual talents, but when they go against a team that preaches team defense, that's a smart, astute head coach, you're not getting past them. And I just don't think the way Luka plays is the future. I'm watching Doncic in this game against the Pelicans. He's not playing defense. He's not even trying. As a matter of fact, he had 11 boards to go along with his 37 points. Most of those rebounds, go back and watch the film. I promise you I'm not lying to you. Luka is just kind of playing off of his guy, hanging around the painted area. To me, that's worse than Steph Curry defense. At least Steph goes to whomever is the spot-up shooter. Like, Steph ain't guarding no Kyrie or no athletic point guard, no Ja Morant. He's going to whoever's the shooter on the team that doesn't attack the rim nowhere near as the point guard does. Steph's doing that, but at least he will stick to the point guard or the off guard, the guard that just spots up and shoots most of the time. Luka ain't even guarding anyone in these games. He's not even trying on defense. I don't think at this very young age that Luka still is, he's 23, I believe, I don't think it's great that he's already not playing defense. Trust and believe. He's not going to do it as he gets older if he doesn't start now. He ain't even trying on defense, things that I kind of seen from James Harden in his prime. Again, the offensive burden was so heavy on Harden, and I'm sure the same for Luka, that I feel like these guys are like, man, I don't got to play defense. Just let me get mine. But the problem with that is not playing defense is contagious. Just like playing defense is contagious. Just like passing the ball to teammates is contagious. When you're a bad three-point shooter, which don't get me wrong, a lot of Luka's threes are off the dribble. If he took more spot-up threes, I believe he'd actually be a good three-point shooter. But in this Dallas Mavericks offense, he's not going to get a lot of open spot-up threes, catch-and-shoot threes for all my 2K fans out there. Most of his threes are going to be off the dribble. Because he's shooting mostly off-the-dribble threes, his percentages are bad. That's 11 times at least in that basketball game against the Pelicans that other guys could have gotten shots that most likely would have been better looks than Luka stepping back on the three-pointer. 13 three-point attempts for anyone is too much, especially if your name is not Steph Curry. All right? Especially if your name is not Steph Curry. 13 threes, only made 2 of them for your point guard, your primary ball handler. I think it's setting a bad tone. So you take a lot of bad shots on offense, though you're great, and you don't play defense. It's James Harden-like, and I cringe sometimes because I just don't believe at the most elite of levels you're going to win that way. If I am Mark Cuban, I am doing everything in my power to go get a Jimmy Butler-style player, a Paul George type of player. Really, it should be Jimmy Butler. Somebody that's going to come around Luka, not take a back seat to Luka, want the ball in the post to make Luka feed him, right, and not just pull back for 3 so many times in the game, change that offense, and literally try to demand better from Luka on defense earlier than later. That would be my mentality if I'm Mark Cuban. I know he's tried, by the way, hasn't been successful as bringing in one of those top-tier free agents just yet, but he's got to do something because the Don right now is not playing a lot of D.